Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. This is public. Okay. All right, guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Um, I know I said I ain't gonna be here that long. I wanted to well, I made an attempt the other day. I want to say it was Sunday. I, I, I want to say it was Sunday. Each week. How much? How much I gotta pay to block you? No, listen, seriously. Seriously. Before I get into that, last night myself and attorney Aikisha El Shabazz was doing a analysis on the ex parte communication that occurred in Judge Glanville's courtroom. That is the YSL presiding judge, Judge Earl Glanville, last night. And I believe we got up to page 28, 28, where we discuss um, our viewpoint of what we heard. And she brought in, obviously, her legal analysis as to what occurred. Her being a 20 plus year former prosecutor and district and criminal defense attorney, as well as a current law professor, who deals with rule of evidence, especially his rule of evidence. I thought it was a very good conversation that we're going to resume today. So for those who missed it last night, it was late night. It was late. It was after 12 o'clock, on the East Coast. So a lot of you weren't able to catch it, but we did go into what we believe what happened as it related to the communication and some of the problems that the judge faces. Um, Also, I was a little interested to hear what Caleb Bumpers actually said. I never block anybody. I don't block anybody. That might be a. I didn't do it. Maybe someone else did. I didn't block it. I don't block people like that. Some people, but not you, Queen Black. So I don't know what that is. Unless you're on these other YouTube streams doing crazy things, but I don't do that. So one of the biggest things that stood out for me in listening or reading the transcript is that the judge said something to the effect that Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody, would be held indefinitely on a contempt um, order. And that's not what the state of Georgia says on a civil contempt or a criminal contempt. So that indefinitely um, was a problem, coupled with the fact that Lil Woody, was in the judge's chambers, shackled with at least four deputy sheriffs, as well as two investigators from the district attorney's office. Why was the need to have all those individuals present with a shackled person trying to get uh, an understanding as to why, one, he was being detained, and two, uh, the uh, the other thing I thought was kind of interesting, that they offered him an immunity agreement right away to, quote unquote, purge himself from anything that he may feel like he shouldn't be talking about, or purge himself from any contempt. There was a lot of things happening there. It was a lot, and I think that the right judge is going to make the right call, because this judge didn't make the right call, and it played out around the world. But what I also noticed was that this judge yesterday read, and this is for the cameras. Make no mistake, this was just before the people in the courtroom. He made a presentation of sorts to explain what had happened from his vantage point. That wasn't a vantage point that was echoed by everyone in that room. So with that, it gives more rise to why he should have recused himself at that point. For example, Miss Bumpers did an interview on the lead attorney on the lead attorney's platform yesterday, right after the judge's hearing, where she discusses the moment in time where she felt that she was in quote unquote jeopardy, and that was probably right after Attorney Brian Still, got on the stand, and I'm not got on the stand, but got to the podium and said what he heard. And the judge said something else I thought was pretty disturbing. He says that the security of the court sheriff deputies pulled the footage that he didn't ask for and presented it to him. He didn't ask for footage of the lawyers talking in the hallway, but the lawyers were. Why did the sheriff department provide footage to the judge? Who requested the sheriff department, who's supposed to provide security, to provide footage to the judge to help him make a decision or whatever? I don't understand that whole logic there, because they're there to provide security. And the lawyers are there, both the prosecution and defense, are there to argue the point from the perspective of who they're representing. So it almost felt like the sheriff department, and this is a danger for the sheriff department, because if this is a practice that lawyers' conversations are being monitored and then shared with parties, remember, the judge was holding this young man in contempt, and the judge is the sheriff department sharing footage that is in the hallway. Who are the sheriff department working for? Is they working for the prosecution, or are they supposed to provide security? And I think that they run the risk of violating someone's civil rights if they're actually repeating what lawyers are saying that they overheard or they saw on their camera. Because that was essentially putting the defense at a disadvantage, and they were shocked. From what I'm told, they were literally shocked that their communication was being shared. And I think that is problematic, big problematic, because these lawyers don't have, and if you know how that court is set up, the lawyers have an opportunity to step outside the courtroom to talk to each other. And just think about that. You hired an attorney. You're a detainee. You hired an attorney to get you out of jail, and the private privileged conversations that they're having in the hallway is being monitored by the security, which is the sheriff department, and then the sheriff department is providing footage to the judge. But why did the judge have to even say that on record that he didn't ask for it? They gave it to him. So does the judge have a problem with the court security acting on the behalf of the prosecution when they're lawyers that are officers of the court? This is so awkward, and the judge did more. You know how some people talk too much? They talk too much. They talk themselves in a deeper hole while trying to get themselves out the hole, but they talk themselves in the hole. Well, he talked himself in the hole because now someone needs to explore how often this is done, and also with that video, was there sound? Was there sound being recorded as well? Because if there was sound coming from the cameras in the hallway, that's a problem. That's like knowing you have to take a test, and the test scores are sitting on the teacher's table, and you just go and read it. Okay, well, all right. I see the answers. That's a problem. And the judge should have at that point said, "Wait a minute, I don't need this." Why? Who asked? He's a chief judge. Why is he asked? Why is he even looking at this footage? Was it even proper for him to even talk about this footage? Was it even proper for me to talk about this footage? Because now it raises another question for me. This trial's been going on, the pre-trial and trial itself been going on for 18 months. How much footage has been shared with the judge that probably wasn't a security issue and then just lawyers talking? I can tell you, for those who don't know how that courtroom, the courtroom and the hallway leading into the courtroom is set up, it's a wide open hallway. You walk off the elevator from the first floor. You make your first, when you get off the elevator, the courtroom's to the right. There is a hallway before you get into the actual courtroom. That hallway is a very large hallway. It goes from, I would say it goes from maybe 1,000 to maybe 1,000 feet from one wall to the other, and lawyers are walking in back and forth. You remember there are a bunch of lawyers that are in this case. They're huddled between themselves, strategizing. So if there's no security risk, why is the lawyers' communication amongst each other being shared with the judge? And who else are they sharing it with? So it raises many concerns that even members of the press, we talk in the hallway. We talk. It's no security issue. I don't know. This is just weird. It's just so weird to me that this is happening. I never even looked at, when I go to the courtroom, I never even looked at it from that perspective that, oh my God, I just thought about something. Oh my goodness, I just thought about something. So I've spoken to some sources in that hallway, and they've been recording it. Oh my God, this is no good. Now we got to go old school. We got to slip them a note and say, "Meet me outside," because this right here is weird. So you guys are literally watching the communication amongst all these people in the hallway. So you knew that Caleb Bumpers was talking to the lawyers. People talk. They have breaks. We stand in the hall. Sometimes we wait around until the courtroom is open. But this stuff is being recorded and analyzed. I'm going to use the word analyze. Because who had the wisdom to say, hey, maybe the judge can use this? It's like these defendants are not only fighting against the prosecution, but they have a sitting judge that's allowing the members of the sheriff department to provide them, I almost want to say privileged communication. I know that's extreme, but these lawyers that are in the hallway, using the hallway as their makeshift conference room, they now have to worry about what is being said in the hallway. They got to huddle like this, like get together, let's talk, let's whisper. Because when I saw Max Sharp drop his head when the judge said he was provided the footage, that was crazy, ladies and gentlemen. He was provided. Why was he saying that? I didn't ask for it, but they gave it to me. So now you're snitching on the sheriff department. You're snitching on the sheriff department because now you're going to have to reach out to the lawyers. Have to reach out to the sheriff, Labat. Why is your members of your security team providing footage to the judge in this case when it's not a security issue? Their job is to protect the judge and the people that come in and out of that building. Because nothing in that footage, ladies and gentlemen, should be viewed as criminal. Is this why the judge said this is a criminal contempt and not a civil contempt? Did the prosecution ask the sheriff department to pull all the footage? It's interesting. And it's unfair. It's unfair for the defendants. It's unfair for the judge to posture in the manner he postured by trying to hold Brian Still in contempt of court when Brian Still's fiduciaries to his client, and he was only exploring why he and the other attorneys weren't invited to this ex parte meeting. Because I will guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, had Brian Still and or some of those other attorneys heard the judge say, this could be an indefinite incarceration, indefinite detainment. No, that's not. In a criminal contempt, it is 20 days max. So why was the word indefinitely used? It's 20 days max. So why did Lil Woody, Kenneth Copeland, have to be told that this was indefinite? That's crazy. Then you got this man in shackles. Literally, they have waist shackles, chains. He's coming in there. You got all these members of law enforcement there. Tell me that's not a form of coercion. It's intimidating. We also heard that Investigator Hamilton was in that room as well. You remember Investigator Hamilton? He's the same one that was accused by the young lady who testified that he was saying some inappropriate things. Why is he still in this case? He's possibly tainted. Why is he still in this case? Why is he still in this case? Why didn't the sheriff department, after hearing that, not transfer him to another division, put him on desk duty, explore what could have happened? It's like, what are we doing here? We are literally bringing the people in that was accused of intimidating the witnesses. Judge, you have to get control of your courtroom, sir, because it's not looking good. If you guys understand where I'm going with this, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. I want you guys to think outside the box. Think if this was one of your family members. Think if this was someone that you hired, for example, the attorney. Think if you hired this attorney to fight the good fight to get you out of jail, and all these different things are being thrown out there. Think about that for a second. Then think about how the lawyers are being treated like criminals. You heard the judge say when Ashley Merchant said, Your Honor, we have 25 attorneys out there, some from GACL, some from the strike force, and they want to come in the courtroom. And while there are not enough seats in the gallery, there are 12, 14 seats, the jury box. No, you can't come to my jury box. Sir, that is the people's jury box. You cannot tell the people they can't come. These are officers of the court. They got a bar card just like you. They have a bar card just like you. They are sworn officers. What was the problem sitting in the jury box? The other judges, I'm not a lawyer. I sat in the jury box. I sat there and recorded and took notes, and I've done this in federal court. I've done this in, so this is like, it's just weird to me. It's like, he's more agitated with the defense team than he is with the prosecution. More agitated, more troubled by the defense. And it makes you wonder, as a little kid, Corey, I think his name is Corey, when he came in during pretrial and he was talking on behalf of Trump, and then you had Kevin Lyles testify and offer whatever money that was necessary to get him out, $2-3 million, whatever it is, a bond. It's ridiculous. The Constitution says you can't make a bond unreasonable, and you can't make it punitive. You can't make a bond punitive, but you don't want to give the man a bond at all. But you're holding him, you're stalling. I use the word stalling loosely. You're holding this guy in who still has a presumption of innocence. At this point, give the man a bond. The same people that you had said, this is the prosecution, the same people that you have said are a threat to the public in the beginning, during the indictment. These people are all in jail. You saw how it played out on the courtroom. All the defendants are all in the courtroom with their attorneys. These are dangerous criminals. But as soon as they take cop a plea, they ain't dangerous anymore. These same defendants are out and about doing anything, and they're not dangerous anymore. So it's not the best example of how this process should go. Because I've sat in many courtrooms and I've seen judges wouldn't even cross the line like this. Wouldn't even cross the line like this. And I'm gonna have to address the elephant in the room. This is a black judge. These are black prosecutors with exception one or two. These are black defendants. We fight to get the fair treatment in the criminal justice system, but we have people that look like us that would do things to show that, oh, that fight, no. That's just a misnomer. That's not something that you should really expect. You would hope the people that look like you understand the plight that the people that have been oppressed in this country have suffered so long. You would hope that the people that look like you will understand it more than the people that don't. Brian Still is more solid than the judge. And he don't look like the judge. He didn't even give up Caleb bumpers. Just think about that. Nor did the other attorneys. But these attorneys are fighting so people that look like you and me are getting justice, fair justice. I don't know if they're guilty or not, but at least play the game fairly. Make sure you are playing the game by the rules. Don't just shift the rules of engagement to make it favorable to you. Because it was really a interesting day yesterday. It was interesting. And the other thing is we have to think about is what judge, I personally believe all the judges in Fulton County should recuse themselves. They should recuse themselves. Don't bring a senior judge in, like Judge Baxter, who's retired, who came in to be able to give the finality to the APS case where the last five or six defendants took pleas last week. No, send it to Cobb County, send it to DeKalb County, send it to another county. But play the game fair. It is painful to watch the people that look like you that are doing the most. They're doing the most. They're doing the most. I've seen some great attorneys over my many years. And I like to shout some of them out. Johnny Cochran was a good one. William Kunstler. These are big attorneys. Google Bill Kunstler. You know who Johnny Cochran is. You know who Ron Kuby is. Akeisha Al-Shabazz. Y'all don't know, she did a major thing that she didn't want me to talk about, but she did a major play for somebody. A major play. But she didn't want to talk about it. You think she comes across as abrasive sometimes? She might come across as abrasive, but when she's in that classroom, in that courtroom, she's kicking ass. And she's fighting. And you want people that will really respect the process. Why do you think all these attorneys came down and rallied behind Brian Still? And all the many attorneys that are commenting on this around the nation. Around the nation. This judge had to feel the pressure. You're bringing the heat to us wearing the robes in Georgia. You're making us look crazy out here, Judge. We never. It was just like, oh, I know you're a former brigadier general, and I know you know what the art of war is and how to psychologically wear a person down. And this is psychologically wearing the defendants down. What you didn't know, this is exclusive. The recent plea offer that the state gave to some of the defendants in Judge Dempsey's courtroom, I learned what one of the pleas were. It was a life plea. They never mentioned what the plea was. They offered them life. These other defendants that were severed, they offered them life. They offered them, there was a life plea offer. That's why all the defendants said, no, we're not taking that. Judge, let us know when you're ready. There were life plea offers. And you know why that was done? In my opinion, it's because they were able to put that out there that they got a star witness. And just think about this for a second. They got Lil Woody on the stand. He's already being told indefinitely. He can be held in contempt if he takes the fifth. Then you got these other people that are detained, being offered life sentences. And they already said they're all ready to fight. So take all these defendants and think about how long this trial is going to take. You got 12, 18 months already in on Judge Glanville. Then these other defendants have to go in front of another judge. It's already a cluster, and there are more defendants waiting than there are in this case. So we're talking years and years. So Lil Woody is incentivized by just talking and saying whatever, and they'll try to impeach him in front of the jury, knowing that he's probably lying, and they know he's lying, but they want to impeach him in front of the jurors. The jurors are listening, wondering why this guy is saying one thing, and they're playing the interrogation video that probably was lying on a bunch of that stuff as well. But this is playing in front of the jury. I think this witness, Lil Woody, should not even be allowed to testify at this point. He's tainted. He's tainted. He's not tainted just because of what he's saying. He's tainted because the judge told him indefinitely. Just think about that. You're going to be held in servitude until you talk, and you can't take the fifth. And there was a reason why Melanick, the attorney representing Lil Woody, there's some question whether or not he was representing him and what point in time was he representing him. Well, the prosecutor, Miss Simone Hilton, hi Simone, I'm just talking Simone, don't, I know you're going to say something to me later, but you had conversations with Lil Woody in the neighborhood, air quote, in the neighborhood with an investigator. Why weren't you recording this? Why were you recording the communication on the investigator? Why is no record of that? Because Miss Kayla Bumpers asked during that ex parte hearing, was this recorded? He said, what? Was this recorded? Oh, no, that wasn't recorded. That's interesting. He's your star witness, and you're not taking down every single thing he says. Not the best investigation, I would add. I would be recording everything. The key witness, and you're not recording everything he's saying word for word. You know why he didn't? Because if they didn't do this, because now it becomes Brady material. Now they have to disclose it, whatever was said to him. So I see this case is going to be a real problem moving forward. It's more about what's happening in the courtroom than young Thug and his guilt or innocence at this point. It just seems like we've gotten away from, did Thug really do the things that they say he did? Or is Thug just a prize? You know, people go hunting and they look for shoot the deer and put the head on the wall. He may be just a prize for some people to build their career. And they may know their case is weak. But if they can twist and turn this situation all over the place, and then maybe they can have a win and they can hang that on their wall. We got these people convicted. Even in the first RICO case, where the teachers were charged in APS, they pled out because they also, and I'm gonna tell you, I talked to one of the teachers, and basically this was a convenience plea. She had 2 children. She took the plea, just said admit what they wanted her to say on the record, and to admit that you did this, and essentially you won't go to jail. I mean, she's a woman who has 2 kids, and she's never been away from them. She'll say anything, and I believe her. But it's the way the public receives it. People don't know that there are a lot of people who take convenience pleas, meaning they'll say anything to get out there. Everyone's not built for jail. Everyone's not like Christina Peterson. Take me to jail. I don't care. Take me to jail. Get your hands off of me. Everyone's not like former Judge Christina Peterson. Some of us don't want to stay a day in jail, knowing the conditions that are in these jails. No one. So you got to understand, there's a lot of psychological things going on here, and the judge knows this, because if you don't know this and everyone else knows this, he's playing in your face. That judge knows what the psychological games that are played in his courtroom, just telling Lil Woody indefinitely. And he's not even a defendant. He's a witness. So if the witness is getting served up, hammering, as Mr. Melnick said, then how do you think these defendants are going to do? Do I think Lil Woody is a choir boy? Absolutely not. He's so awful, I don't know why they even called him. If this is your star witness, where's your case at? This guy's a joke. Let's be honest. It may be entertaining for a lot of you. It may be like, oh, this guy's funny. But he's a joke and he's wasting time. You got jurors that are losing time with their families. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it is a problem. But I don't want to dwell on that too much. I just wanted to kind of put that out there. I just want to say that real quickly. Guys, I have to be at a press conference. I'm probably going to take about 30 minutes to get to it. And it's actually, well, I won't tell you what it's at until actually I get there. I want to say this. In my last live, not about the live that I had Miss Madison Kelly on. In the intro of my live, before I brought my first guest up, and that's V. Lenore, great sister. I really like her. She's really dope. I had prefaced her entry into the platform with a warning, and I shouldn't have did that. And I kind of set the tone for how some people may have viewed her. And I want to say this: that was not my intention. I love working with her. I love bringing her on the show. And for anyone who took those words and thought that it was intentional, sometimes I kind of joke around, but I really enjoyed her being there, no different than I enjoyed the other panelists being there. So if you are attacking her for something I said, please don't do it. Don't do it. And if I had any issue with her, I could have just hollered at her on the sidelines. So let's be respectful and don't disrespect people in the comment section. Over here, she's a good sister. She's a good sister. We have our different styles on how we do things. We approach things differently. Don't mean neither one is wrong. It's how our style is. And I'll give you an example. If I'm doing an interview, I may have 10 questions written down. And as I listen to the responses to the questions as I ask them, they may answer the question for 3 or 4 of the questions, or sometimes they may try to avoid it. So my style sometimes is I'm going to ask it differently. I may come back to it, but I'll make a note of it. Other people may have a different style. They may want the answer right now, but you make it, we all have different styles. So there's no who's better. Our styles are just different. And that's it. But that's why she's my co-host, because we're different and we challenge each other. No different than the other guests I have on there. We challenge each other. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed this brief live. And I know you guys might have some questions I wasn't reading. And I'm actually doing this on hopefully the sound is good and everything, but I'm actually doing on this brand. I got the brand new tablet, the 2024. The 2024 was like the visuals are so great and crazy and everything. But yeah, of course, I want to say this too. I get it. It's so competitive out there and everything. And people try to do things to try to get the distraction. I see people talking about me and other people's channel, then they on my channel talking about that person. I'm like, doing this. Let's just talk about the topic at hand. You don't have to say things to elicit a favorable response for your other person. Just so you can support people just by supporting people. You don't got to just crap on other people. Don't have to do that. This is kind of weird. I be watching some people say things. Some things about Byron, or then they say some things about this person. You ain't got to do all that, because that's not what the whole purpose is. The purpose is to talk about the topic at hand. If the person is the topic at hand, then we can have a discussion about that. But don't say things that you cannot substantiate by way of actual facts. We can't do that. We tear each other down too much out here. We really do. We really do. And we don't have to do that. We can talk about the issues that contribute to the tearing down of us. That's different. Because if you have someone, a judge or a prosecutor or a lawyer that's doing things that is tearing us down, or an individual, then we talk about it. But if it's not a part of the subject, all I'm saying is don't take personal attacks on people. It's not, don't take make a personal attack on someone that's a guest, like that person. There are people going through real stuff in real life. If you didn't learn anything from 2020, there are a lot of people that didn't make it out of 2020. Think about that. There are a lot of people that didn't make it out of 2020. So when you're piling on to people, think about the people who didn't make it out of 2020. Think about what people are probably going through that they don't want to share with you. So it's not always about tearing people down. It's about lifting people up. That's it. As much as you can, hopefully you can share a little bit of yourself to make someone's day a little better. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. I really appreciate you coming in. I know you could be doing anything else, but you're here with me, and that's dope. That's pretty dope. Make sure you are liking, supporting this platform. Make sure you even have a discussion about it. If I said something wrong, you tell me. I got, while you think I got thin skin, I don't have thin skin. I like to talk crap too, like you talk crap. You know how I get down. You've been watching me for enough time to know that sometimes I say what I feel, what I say. So sometimes I will talk mess, but it's for entertainment too. Sometimes I'll come in. I'll see someone in the comment section say something. Oh, I see you. I may go to someone else's platform and talk crap, but I don't disrespect nobody. I ain't doing that. That's not what I'm about. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. I really do. I got an appointment. I got to be at a press conference. Leave a comment. I'm out.